The year of 2020 finally is over. How's it? Welcome back to Tama Takes Reviews. My name is Sean Tama, and this is where I give you my take. So I'm here to give you my 10 favorites. I debated on whether I should just do the 10 best movies I saw this year, regardless of if they were released in 2020 or not, but I think I'll just do another list for that. Obviously, this is just my list. These are my 10 favorites. I didn't really get to see as much as I wanted to, pandemic or not, with time and school and everything. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Let's get started. At number 10 is The Way Back. This is starring Ben Affleck as basically a drunk, and he needs to coach a basketball team. I love a good sports movie like this. Reminded me of Coach Carter, although Coach Carter was a lot better. Remember the Titans, Glory Road, hell, even the Mighty Ducks. If you like sports movies, you like Ben Affleck, I mean, it's a little dark, it's R-rated, he swears a lot if that's not what you're into, but the basketball choreography, well done in my opinion. I was intrigued from beginning to end. You know, nothing you haven't seen before, but a movie that takes place for a guy, he's in a dark spot, and basketball gets him through. At number 9, it's Bad Boys for Life. This probably wouldn't have made the list had other movies been released, but it was fucking enjoyable. I was pleasantly surprised. I went in with low expectations. Honestly, I went in with no expectations. But I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It has comedy, it has action. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, great chemistry together. You know, nothing you haven't seen before, but I like this better than the first two. I watched the first two in preparation for this one because I had never seen them. I like this one the best, so it's a good fun time. Just give it a shot. At number 8, it's The Hunt. This was released, I think, right as the pandemic started, so I didn't get a chance to see this in the theater. But I saw it, I streamed it, and again, another pleasant surprise. You go into this with no expectations. I did a review on this. I'll link it in the description. The one thing I liked about this is the way that they kind of twisted pro-gun versus anti-gun. That argument, like the Democratic, Republican parties, they kind of flipped it, and I thought that was really interesting because, not to get political, but, you know, a lot of movies out there, you have the gun lovers doing something, and this one, they changed it up a little bit, and there's a little monologue at the end that I really thought was interesting, and I highly suggest that you watch that. And the final 4-minute action fight sequence between our two characters, very well done, very well done. At number 7, we have Tenet. I think this is on this list because it was the first movie I got to see back in theaters after everything went down, and just to be in the theater watching a blockbuster. I love Christopher Nolan. I will say this was a bit confusing. Sound editing, sound design wasn't the best. I was intrigued from beginning to end. It was amazing to watch the special effects that were done, and that's not to say that you should watch this movie just for that, but being able to watch that on the big screen, I think helped. I think if I had watched it at home, I wouldn't have felt the same as I do, and I would probably need to rewatch this, and maybe on rewatch it would be better, or I might not like it as much and it wouldn't be on my top 10. But I would leave that up to you. What do you think? At number 6, The King of Staten Island. This is a Pete Davidson, Judd Apatow collaboration. I think Pete Davidson's hilarious. If you're not into him, you probably won't like this movie. You know, he's a slacker, still living at home, and just the hijinks that go down with like him and his friends. It's hilarious to me. It might not be your thing. If you like Pete Davidson, give it a shot. If you don't watch this movie. At number 5 is The Outpost. I don't know if this was supposed to be released last year or not. It may have been, but Netflix bought the rights, I believe. It's a military movie, and it's based on a true story where the troops are basically set up for failure. They're in this gorge or in this canyon in the center, and just mountains are around them for the enemy to just have the high ground and attack them. And so this movie is about these core people, these core soldiers, and they get attacked every day almost, it seemed like. And the final 45-minute battle, beautifully done. Very, very well done. It reminded me a lot of the Lone Survivor 40-minute gun sequence when they were kind of fending for their lives. That one was better. It wasn't as much chaotic as this one was because there's so much more involved. But if you liked Lone Survivor, if you liked American Sniper, you're gonna like this movie. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. At number 4 is The Invisible Man. Did a review on this. I'll leave that in the description as well. Lee Whannell is one of my favorite horror film directors, or just director in general. The way he was able to manipulate us as the audience just with his camera, with the camera angle, the camera movements, was brilliant. I'd never seen the original Invisible Man, so I can't compare. And this is, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a restaurant scene. Holy shit. I mean, it just shows that how unpredictable this movie could be. Now, upon rewatch, the ending is a little bit, doesn't really make a lot of sense as far as rules and stuff like that. Highly recommend it though if you like a horror movie. At 3, we have Extraction. This is a Netflix original movie that I actually really liked. It's very shocking. It stars Chris Hemsworth, and it has an amazing 13-minute long shot action sequence that blew me away. If you don't like action, this might not be the movie for you, but this is my type of movie, and I loved it from beginning to end. It's one of my favorite Netflix originals, and those are very, very hard to come by. If you saw my worst, I think 3 or 4 were Netflix originals, so this one surprised the hell out of me. Apparently they're making a sequel. I'm not sure how because of the ending and how obscure it was, but if they are, and the director, I believe, was first-time director, stunt coordinator or something like that, I think. Sam Hargrave is his name. And I think he worked on the Marvels. I think he was a stunt double or stunt coordinator for those, and he got to direct this movie. Well done, well done. At number 2 is Soul. Just did a review on this the other day. Loved it, it's hilarious, heartwarming, nothing more to say. Disney Pixar, masters of their class. At number 1 is The Trial of Chicago 7. Another Netflix, crazy, right? Aaron Sorkin, director this time. I loved Molly's Game, and I love his fast-paced dialogue. He might be one of my favorite screenwriters of all time, and this was nothing short of spectacular. Every scene was intriguing. Sacha Baron Cohen steals the show in every scene he is in. He was my favorite character. I was not familiar with this story. You know, it happened, I wasn't born yet. I never really learned about it. It did remind me a little bit, not so much the racial spot, but how the criminal justice system is kind of rigged. Luckily, you know, I think it had a happy ending. I don't want to spoil it. I think it all works out in the end for most of them. And again, watching movies at home, it's a little different because you have so many distractions to keep you from paying attention. When a movie like this can keep my attention without me going for my phone or going to the bathroom or getting food or whatever, that's a good ass movie. Plain and simple. So 2 Netflix originals in the top 10. Let me know what yours are. I'm always down to watch any movie, and I cannot wait for 2021. That's gonna do it for the take today, and I'll catch you next time. Shits.